Hello students, in this session we are going to study with diversity on the basis of nutrition. In our previous classes we already covered diversity on the basis of lifespan, diversity on the basis of any other means, and we just recently discussed about lifespan. That means what is your annual plants, what is your perennial plants, what is your biennial plants, all these things. So we discuss about diversity on the basis of nutrition. One question arises in mind that what is nutrition? Nutrition means the process by which uptaking of food, that means all the process of a living organism takes place. The energy, that means the core energy, is otherwise known as the nutrition, for nutrition is the only means by which the all the living beings activities takes place. It is a basic thing. I hope you all know about that. So what is nutrition? According to the basis of nutrition, according to diversity basis of nutrition, total living organisms are mainly divided into two types. So on the basis of nutrition, living organism, that means here the plants are mainly divided into two categories. That means we just categorize into two parts. That means one is your autotrophic plants and another one is your heterotrophic plant. So what is your autotrophic? Another one is what is your heterotrophic? Auto means self. That means they can prepare their own food by its own means. That means they can prepare their own food by the help of photosynthesis. They can, that means chlorophyll pigment is there and the active chlorophyll pigments are there through which the photosynthesis is takes place over here. By the means of photosynthesis only they can prepare their own food. So they are categorized under your autotrophic plants. Nextly heterotrophic, that means they are dependent, they cannot prepare their own food by its own means. They are categorized under your heterotrophic. I just wrote over here. What is your autotrophic plants? These plants prepare their own food material by the process of photosynthesis. That means they can prepare their own food by the process of your photosynthesis. Then what is your examples of your photosynthesis? That means what is the example of your autotrophic plant? Example is your all green plants. These are the basic examples, but among these green plants, some of the plants are there, they cannot prepare their own food by the help of photosynthesis. That means maybe the photosynthetic pigment is not active, maybe the photosynthesis pigment is not there by which they can photosynthesize, but by the absence of photosynthesis they cannot prepare their own food. So heterotrophic means plants cannot prepare there. That means they cannot prepare. Here they prepare, but here they cannot prepare their own food. Materials are called heterotrophic plants. That means the plants who cannot prepare their own food. That means we all know that all green plants are prepare their own food, but the exception is some of the plants are there that the plants cannot prepare their own food by their own means, and they are categorized under your heterotrophic plants. And the best example of your heterotrophic plant example is your Cuscuta reflecta. The name is Cuscuta reflexa, but commonly named as Nirmuli. So this is the common example of your heterotrophic plant. So in nutrition, on the basis of nutrition, by means of biodiversity, but that means the diversity of nutrition is divided into two types. That means total structure is divided into two types. One is your autotrophic plants, another one is your heterotrophic plants. Autotrophic means they can prepare their own food by means of photosynthesis. All green plants are included in it. And nextly, the heterotrophic plants. Heterotrophic plants means they cannot prepare their own food by their own means, and the best example is your Nirmuli, that means your Cuscuta reflexa. Nextly, we discuss about taxonomy. What is taxonomy? Taxonomy. If we talk about the term taxonomy itself, it is the means of two terms. That means it is a plural form. One is your taxa, another one is your taxon also. It is come from a word taxon or taxa. So what is the meaning of the taxon, taxa, all these things? It is thus that means this is a branch. That means taxonomy is a branch which deals with the study of identification, classification, nomenclature of plants, animal and microorganism. I just wrote the term over here. It is the branch of biology which deals with the study of, that means which deals with the study of your, that means it deals with study of your classification, identification of an organism, that means classification, identification and naming of that organism, and basically it is known as your nomenclature. A couple of stages later we are briefly going to study about nomenclature also with some of the examples. Nomenclature of plants, it may be your animal, and microorganisms. So taxonomy means it is the branch which deals with the classification, the nomenclature and the identification of plants, animals, microorganisms is basically known as your taxonomy. It is derived from a word which is your taxon or taxa, and the taxon and taxa means the classification, the order through which we just classify all these things. And basically we just going to couple of stages later we cover about what is your classification, what is the meaning of your taxonomy and the classification. That means what is your taxonomy and what is your taxonomy and the classification and the basic difference of these two terms. I just clear you all these things. So in taxonomy, and the idea, the term taxonomy is given by a scientist named your A.P.D. Kendall. You just wrote over here the term proposed by A.P.D. Kendall in the year of 1837. It is also one of the important term. You just remember it. So A.P.D. Kendall in 1837 named taxonomy, and according to him, according to its law and order, a number of things, that means the nomenclature is developed, that means the IUPAC name and all these things are developed, that means botanical name also derived over here, zoological name is also derived, that means it is a universal name which is derived from the taxonomy. So it is about your taxonomy, and this is about your diversity on the basis of nutrition, which we discuss two basic and simple things. One is your autotroph, another one is your heterotroph. Basically we are going to study about autotroph, heterotroph in ecology in second year, I hope. So hope this small session of biodiversity is helpful to all of you. In our next class we are going to study about taxonomy and classification briefly. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you.